This week, we've been looking at the U.S. Coast Guard's role as a law enforcement agency. Today, we'll look at its mission to stop the flow of narcotics and migrants into the country. Coast Guard Petty Officer Adam Eggers reports.
The mission to stop migrants trying to enter the country illegally is not an easy one for the Coast Guard or the migrants.
It's tremendously dangerous. A lot of people picture the Caribbean as something of a vacation spot. You know, the water is calm, the water is relaxed, you simply hop on the water and go to the United States. Absolutely not true. People get in rafts, the rafts are made of anything that floats. A lot of times they're made out of fuel drums, they're made out of ad hoc furniture. They're vastly overloaded. Most rafts have 20 to 30 people on board, and to be blunt about it, the sea is very unforgiving.
More recently, the Coast Guard has seen a dramatic decrease in the number of people trying to cross in rafts and a dramatic increase in human smuggling. This increase poses a difficult problem for the Coast Guard because human smuggling in many ways is more dangerous for the migrants.
Quite frankly, if we engage in a chase, the smugglers don't want to stop. Obviously, they'll be arrested, so they put the boat into high gear and they start jinxing back and forth in a chase, much like you see at, say, a bank robbery, and migrants get thrown around, and migrants get injured, and migrants die.
The Coast Guard has also been the nation's lead drug enforcement agency on the water since it recorded its first drug seizure in 1890. However, the war on drugs has seen its best results come when multiple agencies and even foreign countries work together as a team.
Diplomacy, because what these nations have said is this problem is so important, it's so international in scope, that we are going to cooperate with you fully. If I call Colombia and I say, I think he's a drug runner, I'm executing my agreement, I can come aboard and execute U.S. law. And that's a fantastic advantage because we can operate with these countries, we can operate fast, we can operate efficiently.
In 1982, the Coast Guard created law enforcement detachments, or LEDETs, to serve as law enforcement specialists. Starting in 1986, the Coast Guard LEDETs began operating aboard U.S. naval ships when operating in known drug trafficking areas.
It's kind of the gun and the bullet mentality. A LEDET is a special forces team. A LEDET is a team that is designed specifically for one purpose, and that is to exercise law enforcement at sea. And I'll use an example, say when we put these on a Navy ship that's not traditionally trained for law enforcement, that ship now becomes the gun, and the LEDET is the bullet. The ship patrols, the ship has communications ability, the ship coordinates with people ashore, the ship finds a target, and as soon as they see that target, they launch the LEDET. It's been a tremendously successful program.
The success of these international agreements and continued partnerships between federal agencies and military forces is causing the smugglers to become more desperate.
Problems that we in the current narcotics world had was we were constantly adapting to the drug runners. Well, now what we're doing is we are making them adapt to us, and I think that's very important.
These success stories are becoming more frequent. This week, the Commandant of the Coast Guard, Admiral Thad Allen, announced that 2007 was a record year for the service, with more than $4.7 billion worth of cocaine and over 10,000 pounds of marijuana seized, proving that with a little teamwork, a difference in the war on drugs can be made. Coast Guard Petty Officer Adam Eggers, Pentagon Channel News.